Hey guys, Nathan here from JS Power Sports, and today I'm going to talk to you a little about the flywheels, especially for the Krash Industries 997 jet skis that had the old style flywheel, which is this guy here. They've changed the design now. They've went to some different metal materials and so on for the new stuff. No problem with any of the new stuff. It's working fantastic. The old stuff really wasn't so much of a problem with the flywheel. It was more of a problem with people that had bought cheap batteries, and the ski would barely turn over, it'd kick back, and then it would shear off that flywheel, sometimes cause damage, and then there's a mess trying to deal with that. Then there's people that wouldn't buy the proper puller, and so they're trying to pull this thing off, and they wind up snapping or breaking something or whatever and making a mess out of things. Now, as most of you guys know, it's been taking a long time to get new flywheels, so I want to make sure that you don't repeat the same problems and just blow one out again. I cannot stress enough how important it is to have an extremely strong battery in your jet ski. It needs to turn the engine over at a certain RPM level, which can be different between 997 and the 1200s and the different computers, but it's got to turn over at a certain RPM level. I would believe it was between 450 and possibly 600 RPM for it to spark at the right time. This is really, really important. So the guys that ran the cheap batteries, this thing would barely be turning over, and then it would backfire, kick this thing backwards, shear the key off, possibly break your Bendix at the same time, and then you got a problem. All because of a stupid, cheap piece of junk Amazon $60 battery. So don't do that. Spend the money on the battery that cranks your ski over so fast, you already think it's running when it hasn't even started yet. That's what you need. We sell the anti-gravity one here. It's the first one on our web page for batteries. It's got the restart button, so if you leave some button on, bilge pump or power button or something, starts draining it down, it will go into save mode basically, and you come out and you can press the button, it reactivates the battery, and up you go again. So this is super important. Now, let's talk a little further into the flywheels. These older style flywheels, you're going to need to lap this to the crankshaft. So you're going to put your compound and stuff in here. You're going to put this on the crankshaft, and then you are going to rotate this thing back and forth and around and around and around until this finish starts to come off a little bit on the inside here. I can show you another one where someone started to lap it. Right here. You can kind of see where this one's it's worn. You know, you see where they've lapped it anyways. It kind of takes off the ridges and so on. That's what needs to be done. You can look up lapping on YouTube and learn how to do that. But basically, any type of like a brass cleaner or metal cleaner compound, heck, you could probably even use toothpaste. But you're going to do that until this thing has a nice fit, okay? Now, the next thing, the Woodruff key. Not all Woodruff keys come the exact same size. So, when you put this on your crankshaft tip and you slide this on there, you have to make sure that it's a tight fit, that this thing's not teetering back and forth. If it is, your Woodruff key is too tall. You can grind this off or have it machined off just a little bit and put it back on. Normally, the ones that we're using are not too tall. However, some of the factory ones from Krash were a little bit taller than this, and the flywheel literally would not fit on absolutely perfect. I mean, it was good enough, it would probably work, but I mean, for us nitpicky, really picky people who want it right, then you would want to lap it and make sure that this matched right, or take it to the grinder or whatever and grind a little bit off so that it fits in there just perfect. Now, if you're in the opposite situation where the groove on the crankshaft is too deep, or this is cut too deep, and when you're putting this in, it's usually on the crankshaft, that only this little sliver is showing. This is going to sound crazy, but all you really have to do is take a beer can, your favorite brand, of course, and cut a little sliver of metal to put underneath here, inside on the crankshaft. It'll raise this Woodruff key up. Basically, you want the middle of this Woodruff key to line up on the crankshaft and on this. If you want to get really nitpicky, you can measure the depth of this channel and then make sure what's sticking above is just slightly underneath the depth of this channel right here. And that'll give you, because you want this thing to shear in the middle if it ever has to shear. Now, if you put in a good battery, once again, A good starter, once again, Pro Torque or above. Some of the factory Kawasaki's, don't buy the wrong one because some of them spin the opposite way. But if you buy the right stuff, you buy the stuff from us, we're going to get you the right stuff, okay? Then you got this paired up. Good battery. Of course, you need to have good cables, good starter solenoid, good starter. And your engine's going to turn over mega fast, okay? Then it's going to start up, run. You're not going to have this issue. It took us about 3-4 years to start convincing some people that you need a very good battery in the ski to power all this up so you're not sharing Woodruff keys, breaking Bendexes, etc. And I'm not saying Krash had the very best stuff on the 997s when they came out, but it was all correctable. It was correctable for not a whole lot of money and a lot less hassle and stuff than a lot of people have gone through by not doing it. The second thing on the battery, because I can't talk about it enough, is that when you turn the engine over, at the starter, you still should be seeing 10.5 volts, okay? Now, keep in mind that if your battery's dropping down to 8 volts, you're not getting the proper power to your ECU or your CDI or any of the rest of your electronics, so they cannot operate the way that they were intended to operate. They need that full voltage to operate that way. If you have, we're speaking mostly about 997s, there's a whole tech support page on our website with all the updates you can do to the 997. They're not that hard. You do the updates quick and you have a great machine. We just sold our 2019 a month ago to a guy in Colorado who's having a blast on it still. And all we did was just do the upgrades right off the bat. Good battery, extra ground. Go see the video on our website. It'll talk about the rest of things, but pretty minor stuff for the most part. Check it out. Get your 997 up to snuff. Get that high cold cranking amp battery in there so it'll power up all the electronics and everything the right way, and you'll be up and rolling and having a great time. Now here's a look at that puller, just so we cover that. It doesn't have long enough bolts, so we put the 3 bolts in the package here, and it's thick, it's heavy duty. There's a few different brands that make this style, but that will help you pull your flywheel off correctly. You don't want to use some cheesy puller for a car or a pulley system on a lawnmower or something and then wind up breaking, messing up your threads or breaking something or whatever. You just don't want to do that. The other thing, in case you have a newer flywheel and you're watching this video, you do not remove these bolts to remove the flywheel, okay? You're going to mess up your indexing and your timing if you do that. That's not what needs to happen. You're going to pull the center bolt out, then you're going to run this puller, the 3 bolts down through, and I always stick another washer in here so I'm never going right against the crankshaft itself. And then of course I grease all of it. I grease the washer to hold it in place, but also so that the tip of this goes against that greased washer. I grease all the threads up really good every time, and then the stuff comes apart and works fine. So if you like our videos, find some knowledge out of this stuff, please hit like, subscribe. If you've had a great a time dealing with JS Power Sports, either purchasing a ski or parts or whatever, or our tech support getting you guys back up and running, please take a minute and go leave us a positive review on Google or Yelp if you use that stupid service, or Facebook, whatever. We really appreciate that stuff, and we remember those customers. So thanks for looking. Hope this is helpful. Go ride your ski, take a buddy, have a good time.